Stay tuned as we take a look at Gambit from the brand new Marvel Legends Caliban Build-A-Figure wave. Pow, and welcome back to the channel, Dan Who Reviews. As always, my name is Dan W. Make sure you are following me on Instagram at It's Dan Who. Today our Marvel Legends reviews continue with this X-Men wave. It is of course the Caliban Build-A-Figure, and we're taking a look at the Cajun sensation. That is of course Gambit. And I know I say this about most X-Men figures, but he is one of my favourite characters. Really like this guy, and I've been very much looking forward to getting him in figure form in this new Hasbro age. And he comes with a nice bow staff, some accessories that show off his effects, which I always appreciate, the display options. And yeah, very excited to get this open and compare him to the rest of the X-Men on the shelf, especially reuniting him with Rogue. So down the side we get a graphic picture, which again I definitely prefer than those promo shots of the pictures. We get a little write-up, and then of course you get a list of all the figures in this wave you need to complete the Caliban Build-A-Figure. Today we're reviewing Gambit. So Remy LeBeau, let's get this guy open and see how he looks. And here we have Gambit out of the packaging, and I must admit I'm really liking the look of this figure. So here he is with all those accessories. As you can see, no Build-A-Figure piece for Caliban, but let's be honest, you were going to buy Gambit anyway. So sneaky Hasbro know how to get your money. So in regards to accessories, it comes with his bow staff, obviously, but he can only hold it in one hand. The second hand is in like a pose, so you can actually put this card piece through it, which again I'll show you in more detail when I zoom in. But I quite like that. The other hand is this sort of card throw-in effect. I've definitely seen this in the comics before, but it would have been better if there was actual cards on the end of here. So maybe that's a choice for customizers to do that. I may even print off some tiny little playing cards for the display with Gambit. But let's zoom in, have a look at the face and the rest of this figure. So here we have a closer look at Gambit, and I don't know if my lights are too bright, but the paint work on the face isn't perfect. You can see sort of skin colour bleeding over on his mask, and then there's a few chips on the black, and for some reason it looks like it still needs to be sanded underneath his chin with a bit of extra plastic. That's a little bit disappointing, but I do like the head sculpt. I like the way the hair flows over his mask. I like his red eyes. He's even got a bit of a 5 o'clock shadow there. So it's just the paint job that seems to be a bit disappointing. Because I can sand off under that his chin, but I'm not very good at painting figures. I don't trust myself. But other than that, it's okay. Just the deco's letting it down. But in regards to the rest of the figure, I like the purple metallic chest. I like that sort of metallic blue where you can see all the scratches and scars. So he's been in some battles. And again, he's got that metallic blue on his boots as well. The jacket, let's be honest, everyone sort of dislikes this jacket, but I think it works for Gambit. It's just a shame because you're only going to get single jointed elbows, sorry. They work okay, to be fair, for what they are. So you're going to be able to get it to work. But I know people probably prefer some more articulation for a character as agile as Gambit. But as you can see, here's a close look at his hand. So he's just got one hand that you can slide in his bow staff. And it's a tight grip, to be fair, so it's not going to fall out. The bow staff is just silver, no magic paint detail, but it's a nice chrome, it works. And this hand, as I said, is in this funky pose where it's got a little gap, so you can actually put this card effect in it. So if I spin it that way around, you'll see for yourself the card effect just sort of sits in there. And I quite like the little trail effect of the card when it's all powered up, but it would be good to have a little card actually there. So I might actually customize that and put an actual playing card in there. But I do like that displaying option. And if you're only going to get two hands for Gambit, then these two are a good choice. One to hold his bow staff and one to hold the card. But it would have been good to get these for both hands. So you have that option. So he could hold his bow staff in his other hand, for example. So let's swap out this hand for the effect. So the effect is attached to the hand, unfortunately. But it will go in there, not a problem, as always. and that's what it is. So he's got 3 cards shooting out from the fingers, but again, these have no playing cards on the end. So again, that's a job for a customizer, and that's the sort of way he's thrown them. So again, I'm not the guy you go to for posing figures, but I would assume it looks a bit more dynamic throwing them like that, maybe. I don't know. I'm not very good at it, posing figures, but I'll let the ACBA community get on that. I'll probably definitely pose him with the other hand. But I do like it when Hasbro at least attempt to give us accessories that display a character's power set. So I'm not complaining. I do appreciate the attempt from Hasbro. Just the execution, for me personally, isn't perfect. But again, I like his bow staff. I like that you can get the card there. So when you've got him standing on the shelf looking cool, he can do that, not a problem. So yes, I'm liking Gambit. Definitely a character I needed for my X-Men display, and I think he is going to fit in perfectly. So if you are one of those people who are asking, who's Gambit? Who is the Cajun sensation? Well, let me tell you, in the segment I like to call Gambit, who is he?
This is the part of the video where we ask the question, who is he? And I try and give you a little bit of information about the character this figure is inspired by. So, Gambit, who is he? Real name Remy LeBeau is a mutant with the ability to create, control and manipulate pure kinetic energy. Skilled at hand-to-hand combat and with his bow staff, he is also uniquely skilled at card throwing, charging them up and using them as explosive projectiles. First appearance was in Canny X-Men Annual 14 in 1990. Once a member of the Thieves Guild, before joining the X-Men, seeking redemption for his past, Gambit is also known for his relationship with Rogue, who he eventually marries.
There you go, so I hope that helped. Again, I do not claim to be an expert, but it is nice to have a little bit of information about the characters these figures are inspired by. So let's get into some comparisons for Gambit. And as I mentioned earlier, the jacket is a reuse of the jacket we have seen plenty of times before. I think the first time we've seen it was Nick Fury, but the last X-Men to wear it was Mr. Multiple Man. And his jacket is a lighter version of brown, but there you go, exactly the same jacket. So the type of articulation you're going to get out of this guy is the same type you're going to get out of Gambit, even though he does sit a little bit taller due to the modifications to the body, because it's not the Bucky cap. It does seem to be a little bit different. So let's bring in Rogue, the love of his life. This is the reunition that I wanted to see on my shelf. Those two look perfect together, let's be honest. So I'm definitely going to have to pose them in a more dynamic display than just those two standing there like that, because that doesn't really reflect love, does it? Let's be honest. But let's bring in some other X-Men, because this is what it's all about. So there's Wolverine crouching down. Don't knock over Rogue, please. Thank you. Then we bring in Mr. Scott Summers, Cyclops. And then we got Jubilee from earlier. So I've already reviewed Jubilee, so go and check out the channel and go and check out my full review of Jubilee. So those are starting to look great. Of course, I have more, but I ain't got room on my table for all my X-Men. But this team is starting to look very good. Looking forward to opening Beast, and I'm going to review him next. So you let me know what you think in the comments below. Are you satisfied with this particular Gambit, or do you reckon Hasbro could have done better? We have been waiting for a while. I don't think Hasbro gave us one before. I think the last Gambit we got was from the Toy Biz days. And I think Hasbro have done a decent job for Gambit. Not complaining much at all. I've just got a little bit unlucky in regards to the paint apps on the face. And I can make some accessories for him anyway. So I'm not too bothered about that. I'm now going to have to go and print off some tiny little playing cards. But you let me know in the comments below, what do you think of Gambit? Are you looking forward to getting him? Do you already have him? And as always, please, please, please hit that subscribe button. Plenty more reviews on the channel to come from this Caliban Build-A-Figure wave. So as always, people, my name's been Dan W, and I shall see you on the next one.